All right, guys, this video here is going to show you how to check for leaks in your mixing valve assembly. After the last video, a lot of people called or contacted me and said, I can't figure mine out. I got a ton of leaks. I think I'm sucking air. I have a foolproof way of checking whether you're sucking air or not, or you have any leaks. Because you got to remember, this system here is actually a vacuum. You're actually pulling water in at very low pressure, running it through the pump. It's not like we're pressurizing this and you're going to see a leak. When it's sucking in, you could be sucking air, and you very rarely sometimes find a leak unless it's a big leak. When you shut it off, it'll leak somewhere around these valves or anything, right? So first we have to understand how everything works. Basically, this is a three-way ball valve. It selects from fresh water here, or it selects from here and pulls your chems, okay? Then it goes through the pump and out the discharge. We're going to turn this valve so water flows through here, through the pump, and out, okay? Because we have to purge the water out, to purge the air out when we do it. Now, remember, all mixing valves we have are proportional, whatever, they all have check valves, right? That stops water from going up into our chemical supplies, all right? These check valves here. So if we force pressure back into here, remember, you got to open your valves, open them all up. It's going to push pressure up against the check valve. So you're going to check everything from this check valve, all these connectors, this check valve, all these connectors, and so forth, all the way down through the entire system. Now, the way we're going to do that is, most people who have a manifold system have a flush valve for their SH, okay? Which is mine's right here on top of the tank, okay, right there. Some people have a manual one. I have an automatic one. Now, my automatic one, also, the flush line comes down here to this water, to this right here. Now, the reason why I have this garden hose here, this is just in case I want to pressurize a system where, most systems have an area where you can turn a pump on and backfeed water in from the garden hose or what have you to prime it. Now, the key is with this is you have to have a check valve here, because as we pressurize this, we're going to pressurize it. It's bypassing SH, and it's going to go into the mixing valve assembly. If we didn't have this check valve, it would just blow it into the rest of our water supply. That's why I have the check valve here. And when I disconnect this and put the plug in, this check valve always keeps water in this pipe, because at the end of the day, we have to turn that ball valve there and flush out our SH every night to clear out the lines, okay? We don't want the SH sitting in the manifold. So this is how we're going to do it. This garden hose here, we're going to turn it on. It's going to feed pressure. It's going to go through this line here. It's going to come through the one-way check valve, right? It's going to pressurize everything here up to the check valves. It's going to go through here, through the pump, and this is where I connect my line. Because remember, I use my hose reel as just storage. It's going to come out here, okay? So I'm going to come over here to this garden hose. I'm going to crack it just a little bit. So I open up all the way. See what we're going to purge all the air out, right? We're getting steady flow here. We can hear the water rumbling away, coming through all the valves. Now, if I shut the SVH valve off, here it's starting to close. It closes off because we're running the water backwards. So we definitely know everything here is tight, or else it would be leaking. Let's turn it back on. Okay. We're flowing now. Now, I can't stick this on because this is too much pressure. Watch. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. So we turn the garden hose off. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to stick this plug in. I'll leave one end open so you can see how much pressure is coming out of it. When I'm just going to crack it a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of... That sucker's tight. I can't even lock that, okay? That's how tight it is. We still got a little bit of water coming through. I can't even push this bolt this in. That's how locked in it is. Now, we're gonna come here, we're gonna check for leaks. Now you gotta remember, you gotta open them all up. Not all the way, but you have to open up where they're gonna feed back and they're gonna hit the check valves, and the check valves are doing their job. I don't hear any water coming through here. Nothing. I don't hear any water. Now we're pressurizing this whole system with 60 psi, or whatever the house pressure is. So we have no leaks anywhere. And by the way, I've done a few of these booster pumps. I've had leaks all on the stainless steel. Now this here is about a year old. It's doing pretty good. Not a year, but it's doing pretty good. It looks good. There's never any leaks. I only use Blue Monster tape. I didn't use any thread locker, nothing liquid, nothing. Just strictly Blue Monster, 3 or 4 wraps, 3 minimum, you're good to go. Now we have no leaks anywhere. None at all. So let's recap. We got a check valve here, so this water can't go into our water supply. It's coming through here, going through the flush valve, which normally would suck SH. We're bypassing that. We're coming around. We're going into our SH valve, which is filling up the entire system here. All that water pressure is going back, hitting our check valves. And then coming through here, we're checking this connection. We're checking our 3-way valve for our SH2 pump mix. We're checking all our connections in our pump. Let me move this stuff out of the way. This is my mask. We're checking everything here. We're checking our connections at the pump. We're checking our pressure regulator. There is no leaks anywhere. It is tight as can be. Now I'm going to give you kind of idea how much pressure is here. I'm going to open this, grab the sucker here. We have one end on. Look at that. That's how much pressure is on there. And like I said, I only have this cracked. If I turn up all the way. So this here is a foolproof way of checking for any leaks in your manifold system. Any leaks. We are tight, not one leak in the system, not one leak in the pump, not at the selector valve, nothing. There's no leaks at all. That's the best way to check for leaks in your system if you think there's a problem. Or every now and then, put a hose on it and check it. All right, guys. Hope this helps you guys out. Keep on spraying.